The night she burned my passport, I didn't even realize what she had done until the smell of plastic and paper filled the kitchen. I walked in and saw the ashes still smoking in the sink, the red cover curling under the last ember. She stood there with her arms crossed, her face calm and cold. "You don't need it," she said. "You're not going anywhere. Stay home and take care of the kids. I'm traveling with someone who actually appreciates me." Her words hit harder than the flames ever could. For a moment, I thought she was joking. I asked her what she meant, who she was talking about, and why she destroyed something that represented years of my work and dreams. But she didn't hide it. She told me his name, her boss from work. They were going on a business trip that had turned into something more. "You'll be fine," she said. "You're always good with the children." Then she walked past me, suitcase in hand, without even looking back. The next few hours felt like I was trapped in someone else's life. I sat on the couch, staring at the small heap of ashes. My 2 kids were asleep upstairs, unaware that their mother had chosen to walk away from us. I couldn't even cry. I felt something heavier than sadness. It was humiliation. She had stripped away my freedom, my dignity, and left me with nothing but the role of a babysitter. For days, I tried to reason with her. I called, texted, begged her to at least talk about it. But she ignored every message. One of her friends slipped up and mentioned that she was in Dubai, posting pictures with the same man she'd left with. She looked radiant in those photos, while I was back home cooking for the kids, pretending everything was normal. I knew then that she wasn't coming back soon. That's when the thought of revenge started to grow, not loud or violent, but quiet and sharp. I decided I wouldn't confront her. I would make her realize what she had thrown away, and I'd make sure she faced consequences for every lie she told. I started with her job. She had used company funds for her business trip. I gathered all the receipts, screenshots, and messages I could find from her old emails and forwarded them, anonymously, to her HR department. Within 2 weeks, her company launched an internal investigation. They froze her accounts, suspended her, and eventually fired her. The same friend who had told me about Dubai called again, saying she'd been forced to return home early. That was the first time in months I slept peacefully. I hadn't shouted or insulted her. I had just let her lies crumble under their own weight. When she came back, she didn't walk in proudly this time. She stood by the doorway, eyes sunken, clothes wrinkled, her confidence gone. "You ruined me," she said. "You couldn't let me live, could you?" I looked at her and simply replied, "You burned my passport. You tried to trap me. Now you're the one trapped." She tried to defend herself, claiming she only wanted some freedom, that she never meant to hurt the kids. But our children had already stopped asking for her at night. They had learned to find comfort in my presence alone. She noticed that too, and that hurt her more than anything else. Over the next few weeks, I filed for full custody. I didn't do it out of spite, but because I couldn't trust her anymore. The court sided with me easily once I presented the evidence of her abandonment and misconduct. She lost custody, her job, and most of her reputation. The man she left with had long disappeared when things got difficult. She tried to rebuild, moving into a small apartment nearby to visit the kids occasionally. But they never greeted her with the same excitement as before. Her choices had built a wall between her and her own family, a wall she couldn't tear down with tears or apologies. I remained polite, but distant. One day, she asked me quietly, "Was it worth it? What you did?" I told her the truth. "I didn't do anything to you that you didn't start yourself. You destroyed one passport, but I rebuilt a whole new life from its ashes." Now, years later, my children are growing strong and happy. I've built a better home, a better career, and most importantly, peace. She still drifts on the edge of our lives, a reminder of what betrayal costs. Sometimes I see her watching from afar during the kids' school events, her face filled with regret. I don't hate her anymore. Revenge gave me closure, but what truly healed me was moving on. She once told me to stay home and look after the kids. I did exactly that, and that became my greatest victory.